I was probably about 11 years old. And so my mom got a new boyfriend. And when she got a new boyfriend, he pretend like we was just the greatest friends ever. He made it seem like we were great friends, and he manipulated me into thinking that we were friends, and and having me believe that I can share all of my secrets with him. I was starting to get into boys and having little boyfriends. And of course he like, yeah, tell me everything. I would never tell your mom. So he manipulated me to think that we were friends. And so after I let my guard down to think that we were friends and telling him that, I kissed for the first time and all of that kind of stuff, he then began to violate me by, it's just heartbreaking that an adult will do that to an innocent kid. And so, after that, I decided to open up my mouth and, tell someone. And she picked me up from my dad's house. And we rode in the car, headed home. And the ride was very silent. Like, there was no conversation. And when we pulled up to the house, she parked the car. And then she asked me, did you tell your grandmother or whoever that such and such touched you? I don't want to say his name, which I should, but I'm not going to do that. That he touched you. And I looked at her and I said, well, yeah, because he did. Like, yes, he did. Mom, yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I'm trying to explain. And then next thing you know, she grabbed me by my hair. I had fresh braids in my hair. And so, those things were tight. She yanked me by my hair and told me I was lying and that I need to tell the truth. So pretty much pressured me into saying, okay, it's not the truth. And then she let go of my hair and said, oh, I knew you were lying. And, oh God, like, 1 second. After that, let me just say this. No kid that's in my life that's connected to me, from my child to my goddaughter to my niece, my nephews, no child connected to me will ever be able to come to me and tell me that somebody has violated them and me not wake up choosing violence that day. I know I love Christ, but I would lose my religion over a kid. I will wake up choosing violence because no kid should ever have to deal with that from a grown adult who knows better. All my situations, I would beg my dad to get me out of the situation, but he wouldn't. He'll just continue to drink and do nothing. So I'm sitting here and I'm waiting to be rescued and nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to get me. And so here it is. I don't trust my mom. I don't trust my dad. And I don't trust all of these people around me that's pretending to be my friend. I've heard of God, so I knew something, And so, I would just think to myself, God, you must hate me, because if you loved me, you will rescue me out of this situation. You will save me, because this is wrong. You wouldn't allow this stuff to happen to me. And so when I look back now, I see that God gives everyone free will and that we all have to give an account for our actions. And although I couldn't see him at the time, I couldn't feel him at the time, and I couldn't touch him at the time, I'm still here today to tell my story, which means he was carrying me through the whole time. She would always say to me, I just don't know how. I don't know how you're not this angry and bitter person. Like, how are you still smiling? How are you still nice to people? And I didn't know the answer at the time, but I know the answer. I know the answer now. It was because God was carrying me through and he was protecting my heart